Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a quick recording for training on team finance. So I'm just going to start the PowerPoint up. So there's a few different areas in team finance that we need to focus on. And the three different areas are to talk about budget and reimbursement, donations, and sponsorship. Of course, you can divide things up into lots of different areas, but these are the three main ones that we want to talk on. And the first one we're going to talk about is budget and reimbursements. So with budgets and reimbursements, this is a really key area that really comes under any finance role. And the number one thing you need to know is how to analyze and prepare a budget. This is done usually at the end of a year. So at the end of 2019, we should be analyzing and preparing the 2020 budget and so on. And to give you an idea, I'm actually going to just show you a budget from Team South Africa so that you actually know what we're talking about. So we have a budget and expenses knolling document or a master document, which you will have shared with you. And under budget analysis, you'll see the budget for Charity Week South Africa. But not only that, you will see that it's got the budget for 2018, 2019, and now 2020 over there. So it's not just for the budget and reimbursement for one time, it's for every year. We're going to just keep adding to the spreadsheet. And it's got two columns as well. One is the approved budget, and the other is the actual expenditure. So we actually make column one is us putting together a budget and submitting it to Islamic Relief or EAA. And it contains things like assemble costs, the cost of the venue, cost of refreshments or food item, merchandise, travel to assemble, etc. And we do separate for everywhere there is an assemble. So there's 3 different assembles in South Africa, so we have 3 different cells for that. Even if assemble in Durban is not going to cost very much money, it's going to be online, we should still have space for it because we want to be able to say that it's free right now because it's online, but maybe in the future it won't be. Now, we also have space for national travel. This is traveling within the country to take part in Charity Week meetings or events, support travel, maybe traveling to institutions, and other miscellaneous travel costs. A budget for reimbursements, for resources, sorry. And this is where about half the budget will end up going over here for resources. Things like t-shirts, shipping charges for the t-shirts, buckets, posters, flyers, any merchandise, things like that. In the budget, you also include things like expenses for Assemble 2, and the other 50% really of the budget goes on the annual dinners. And again, cost of venue, catering, AV cost, speakers cost, decor, and transport and travel. So it's a pretty thorough breakdown of how much we intend to spend in Charity Week. We sit down with maybe last year's team, with the international finance team, and we work out what our budget is for 2020, which we've already done over here. You can see that for South Africa, and we're doing it for every country, inshallah. And then what we want you to do in step 1 is just to get an idea of the budget. What are the things that are included in the budget? What kind of expenses have we had in previous years? You can see that, wow, there's like the food expense for Cape Town is this much over the last few years, or we've got the venue for free, so that's very useful to know. So familiarize yourself with the budget, not just for this year, but for previous years for your country. And that is absolutely key, because if you don't do that, then what often happens is that when somebody asks you a question, you're not really sure how to respond to them, whether it's a reasonable expense or not. Now, going back to the step 2, so analyze and prepare a budget, and that is hard work, but it's something that preparing the budget is done as the year goes, at the end of the year, and you have to analyze it. Step 2 is monitoring the budget. So I showed you the same budget that was there. The first column is on the actual budget that we've requested. The second column is the actual expenditure. So every time there's an expenditure, let's say that we spent £2,000 for the venue, for the annual dinner, they'd go and put it into the budget. So that way, it's a live document. It's always updated. It's always regularly refreshed. And because it's a live document, that means anyone, whether it's international director, whether it's international finance, whether it's regional events, they can quickly have a look at the budget and see where we are. How are we going? How are things going? Are we going over budget? Are we going under budget? So regularly monitor the budget is an absolutely important role for finance. Understand the budget and monitor it. Every time someone spends some money in CW or is going to spend some money in CW, make sure you add it onto the budget sheet so that we can see where we are. We can take a temperature check at regular intervals. What we don't want to do is suddenly find ourselves saying, "Oh my God, we're 10,000 over what our budget should be." We should know that well in advance if we're heading in the wrong direction. If we suddenly need more money for X or Y, there's always an emergency section of the budget, then we should know that as well. And step three is about reimbursements. So a mark of a professional organization is if we don't put reimbursements through very slowly. People are already giving their time to be in this project. They're already giving their energy. And every once in a while, alhamdulillah, we've got a great team. Every once in a while, if they have to spend their own money and then claim it back later, most people are absolutely fine with that. But what no one is fine with is having to spend a large amount of money where suddenly we have to pay $5,000 to secure a caterer, and brother Ahmed has to pull it out of his pocket. Well, that's not nice. No one should have to do that, and it will stop people taking part in the project because they'll feel like I can't afford to be part of the team. And the other thing that's a problem is even if you have to spend $20 to spend it in February or March and get the reimbursement in July or December, that's not appropriate either. The money should come to you. You should be able to get the reimbursement soon. So in order to do that, the finance team need to be the one that reminds everyone, hey guys, these are the things that you can actually claim back. You can't just go on a trip and decide afterwards, hey, give me the money back. You have to pre-approve it. Let us know what you're going to be spending the money on, so that we can say, actually, no, wait, we don't have the money to reimburse that. This is how you get the reimbursements back. You need to take a photocopy. You need to put it on this Google form. You need to send it to this email address, and we will process it within the month, inshallah. And processing it means having a good relationship with Islamic Relief Finance Department. So the finance team should have a good relationship with the people who are reimbursing us, so through in Islamic Relief, so that they can say, hey guys, these are the Charity Week reimbursements for February, and we're emailing you in the first week of March. Hopefully they'll be processed by the end of March. And that makes everyone happy, and it means you don't have a huge amount of work left over. Believe me, there's nothing worse than getting an email from someone at the end of the year saying, I still haven't been reimbursed for my Assemble One expenses. Like, that's really depressing, and it makes everyone look unprofessional. So, to conclude, what are the three main areas over here that we need to concentrate on finance with budget and reimbursement? Lesson 1, analyze and prepare the budget. Make sure you know the budget and that others do too. Don't let anyone like marketing or events or to be turned around and be like, I have no idea how much budget I have. Tell them exactly how much you have in the budget and tell them so that they know what to work within. Lesson 2, monitor the budget. Keep up to date with it. Keep it updated. Keep it refreshed so that everyone knows where we are. And lesson number 3, get reimbursements in swiftly and processed quickly, inshallah. It's a mark of a professional finance team. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And any questions on these issues can be answered by your finance, by your head of finance, or if they're struggling with the event, with the international finance team.